Welcome to another episode of Horror Quickies. I'm your host, JW. This episode, I'm going to review Dangerous Animals. Yes, it's a shark movie, and it's a serial killer movie. Serial killer that uses sharks to kill people. Okay, Hasey Harrison, Josh Houston, and Jai Courtney. Those of you who were fans of the DCU, Jai Courtney, of course, played Captain Boomerang in the Suicide Squad films. He also was, I believe, John McClane's son in Die Hard. Which one was it? The fifth Die Hard, I believe. Anyways, this is a high-stakes thrill ride that leaves you breathless, according to Bloody Disgusting. All right, for those of you new to the channel, I do not use a rating system. I simply tell you what the movie's about, loosely, no spoilers, at least I try to. Tell you what I liked about it, tell you what I didn't like about it, and whether I recommend it to you or not. And please keep in mind, this is simply my opinion. Believe me, there's movies I like that even some of my best friends can't stand, and they don't know why I like it. So believe me, I do not bash films. I do not put myself above the films. I'm just keeping it simple, keeping it real according to my own opinion. You should always take someone's opinion with a grain of salt. Anyways, moving on. Hasey Harrison, I hope is it Hasey or Hasey? Hopefully, I'll figure out how to pronounce it right for the end of the episode. Anyways, Hasey Harrison plays Zephyr. Zephyr is an American. She is basically traveling around. She's a surfer. She is in Australia. And she meets this young Australian guy, and they have a romance. Now, they have a romance, and even though it's only one night, it's apparent that there's chemistry there. And I will give credit to the actors in this scene. Hasey Harrison and her love interest. They sell that these two people can fall in love that fast. And you're talking to somebody that's seriously my opinion on, and I want to stick to reviewing movies, but I will tell you this about myself. My opinion on love is this: it's just a word. If you don't put something behind it, it doesn't mean anything. If you do put everything you have in your heart, then it means something. Okay, end of the soapbox. Anyways, so, things get kind of too close. She meets somebody. Her free spirit, I think, is part of the reason why she kind of ditches dude. And she ends up going early to surf at this port. And that is when she runs into Jai Courtney, who is a boat captain. Now, the opening scene in the film, I'm not going to ruin it. The opening scene in the film, before they even show Zephyr's character, shows you what this dude's about. So, anyways, he grabs her, and she begins to find out that he enjoys feeding people sharks while putting it on video. Anyone seen the trailer knows I am not spoiling anything in that. As you guessed, this is kind of a contained thriller, mostly besides the opening scenes. Most of it takes place on the boat, but you also have the Australian guy who fell in love with her. I like how they broke it up between scenes on the boat where her trying to escape captivity and this guy talking to the Australian authorities and trying to find her. It gives it a nice balance, and it kind of opens it up from just simply being stuck on the boat. She's not the only captive. She tries to get away. Jai Courtney totally steals the show as a bad guy. He's crazy. I mean, saying this guy is eccentric, or you can't simply just say he's eccentric or he's crazy. This guy is crazy upon crazy, but he also has... there is a backstory, and I don't think they touched on it as much as they should, but I feel like they did do enough. he's very obsessive. Things have to be a certain way. The camera he uses is very old, and it's a very, very interesting character. Probably the most interesting character I think Jai Courtney's played. Anyways, this film is pretty good. Now, I love the pace. I thought the pacing was pretty good, because when you have movies where the victim, where it's a contained thriller and the victim is captured for a great length of time, it runs the risk of being stale or slow, which, just want to say, I do like slow burn films, but felt like the pace was just this right. There's enough twists and turns, and there's a lot of factors to come in out. There are some scenes that I thought were a little unnecessary, but at the same time, I don't feel like they went over long. It's very much cat and mouse, and even though they feature that the love interest a lot searching for her, is very much Hasey Harrison's character versus Jai Courtney's. Not just physically, but mentally and psychologically. And I love the balance between them two. It's a good playoff, in my opinion. So, as far as what I didn't like I said, there's a couple of scenes, didn't really know. They weren't long scenes, so it's not a big deal, but I have to be honest, there's a couple of scenes that sometimes I think it went over long. Some scenes are like just to show you that she's still captured. I felt like they could have did something else instead, but at the same time, overall, I don't really have a lot of criticism. This movie is pretty good. Now, there are several contained thrillers like this. This isn't the first movie where a guy uses sharks to kill people, Shark Night 3D. There's other movies, but the thing is, in that movie, the killer is all about money. This guy, Jai Courtney, this is a very twisted dude. So I do feel like that's the saving grace. Jai Courtney really stealing the show, kind of puts this above the average crazy guy using sharks to kill people movie. There's a couple. So, do I recommend this film? Like I said, there's really not a lot of critical stuff that I could say about it. Now, I will say that I do recommend this film. In fact, since I've bought this, I bought this at Walmart. I believe I paid $15.99 for it or something. If you have Shudder, you can watch this. This movie's on Shudder. It's a Shudder film, so you don't necessarily have to get the DVD. I currently don't have Shudder because I'm currently, not to get off subject, currently giving Screambox a try, and I will review some of those movies that I watch on Screambox. When I give them a try, because I never had them before. Now, for those that don't know, Screambox actually came out before Shudder, but Shudder had AMC and they were getting bigger projects. But now Screambox, if I'm not mistaken, is owned by Cinedigm. I think they're called Cineverse now, so they're getting a little bit more exclusive films. Anyways, I do recommend this, and honestly, I've watched this twice since I owned it, once by myself and once with some coworkers, and it's an enjoyable film. I will say that while it doesn't break new ground, it's the characters that really, especially Jai Courtney as a bad guy, that make it worth watching, in my opinion. So I do recommend, had to look, Dangerous Animals. And the shark effects, I can't believe I didn't mention it. Shark effects are minimum, but when they do show them, it's done very well. They do have scenes of her in the ocean, even though this is a contained thriller. So I think they did a great job with what they had, and for me, it works. So that's JW. I recommend the movie Dangerous Animals while memory's going. And I will see you on the next Horror Quickies.